Raanan is fat and he's a Jew. He'll tell you something that you already knew. Your favorite movie sucks. Your favorite movie sucks. American Beauty or Forrest Gump, your favorite movie sucks.
We are back with another episode of Your Favorite Movie Sucks. Today we have one of my oldest friends in comedy. She's 37, 38.
I'll kill you.
And
I'm not. I'm 32.
Caitlin, are you really? No.
Don't look so surprised.
Are you 32? Really?
I'll never tell.
Caitlin Peluffo, who's anywhere from 32 to 40.
You put a 4 in there, I'll kill you.
Hilarious comic. She just had a wonderful set on The Tonight Show. I invited her when I did The Tonight Show, and she did not invite me when she did The Tonight Show, which is a little crazy.
I had my girl gang with me. It was girls only.
Yeah. But anyway, it's like not getting invited to someone's wedding when you invited them.
He's literally brought it up twice. I've only seen him twice. Every time he has brought it up.
Remember when I did Tonight Show and I peed my pants? Like I accidentally got some pee on my pants right before I had to go up.
Yes.
And I was like, "Fuck! I hope this dries." But anyway, we can't do any banter. They get mad. They get mad about the banter now. They get mad right to the fucking movie.
Okay, all right.
And I honestly, I'm cool with that honestly, because we're done.
Done. Stop making me laugh. Let's stop catching up, dear friend.
We got to get right to the movie.
Okay, and I'm so excited to talk about this movie. I love it so much.
And I just want to say, if you're watching, sometimes people watch this, they want to see the movies they love talked about. This is a bit of what they call a chick flick, but it's good. But I just want to say, if you're watching and you're like, come on, I want to just talk about the Godfather, keep on watching. We're going to break down romantic comedies. It's going to be an interesting discussion.
It's a good romantic comedy.
It is good. It is good. We like to begin. Where was the first time you saw it, if you remember?
Are we going to say the name of the movie? Are we going to bring up what we're watching? You just said romantic comedy as if they're all the same.
That's part of the podcast. We just talk about it and the audience has to guess. That's a good idea. We talk about a movie and the audience has to guess.
No, that's awful.
We'll narrow it down. It's Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, and they're pen pals. So it's down to 2 movies.
But electronic pen pals.
Electronic pen pals. That really narrows it down.
Yeah.
We are the 1998 movie, You've Got Mail.
Yes, Nora Ephron.
Which is like a weird commercial for AOL.
I mean, yeah. It was sponsored by Starbucks and AOL.
Yeah, I know. It's very bizarre. But so where were you when you saw it?
I was living in California. I was a teen.
Okay. I guess maybe you were. Maybe you're not 40.
Thank you.
That math doesn't add up.
I don't even think I was a teen. My mom loved the movie. My mom and my grandma, they loved the movie. And it was one of the few ones that I could watch because there was no sex in it.
Right. There's about one mention of sex, or like, did you have sex? And but then they do talk about cyber sex for a second.
Yeah.
And the old lady talks about cyber sex.
She's like, don't do it. They lose all respect for you.
But then that old lady's like, I've done cyber sex. But wait, is she aware of what it is? I can't remember.
Yes, she's aware.
Yeah, she's like, I've done cyber. Yeah.
Birdie, she's very hip.
It's very, it's like that one moment. But yeah, it is somewhat we all go to the Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan movies for the wholesome, no sex. You're not going to have a scene of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, him like fucking her from behind.
Good
in fact,
Lord.
Tom Hanks.
How dare you?
Well, Tom Hanks in general, he's a warm, lovable dude. He's not a sexual actor. He's not like really in sexual stuff.
Is there a sex scene with him? Ever?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe there's one in Charlie Wilson's War, but overall, in general, he is pretty wholesome Americana.
Yeah.
While Meg Ryan is, of course, I mean, she's been in some sexual movies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard not to be a woman and not be like in a sexual movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and have
they
a
make
career.
it sexual. Yeah.
But they're both. There's not a lot. There's no. Yeah. So you saw it with your family. It was the one movie you're allowed to see.
Yeah.
Without sex. Do you think you're such a dirty comedian now because of a little rebellion from a prude lifestyle?
Yeah, growing up we weren't I wasn't allowed to play video games. I wasn't allowed no sexual movies. I couldn't even watch The Simpsons.
Really?
Yeah. It was too vulgar.
You're not even like a religious family, right?
No, my mom was just a teacher.
Oh.
And so I would be able to read and I would be able to go play outside.
It's a weird when it's not like a religious family and they're like prude. Don't
No.
you think that?
Yeah, my mom was just smart.
Yeah.
She was like, video games are going to rot your brain, and she was actually correct.
She kind of sounds like, I know you're not a movie buff, so you've probably never seen or heard of this movie, but do you know Almost Famous?
Yeah, I've seen
Do
it.
you remember the mother?
No.
Frances McDermott.
I remember seeing the movie and loving Kate Hudson.
Well, Frances McDermott, the mother, is she is like kind of a prude and doesn't want his kid listening to rock and roll music, but she's a bit of an intellectual, a reader, a teacher, and she's not like religious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that kind of angle. So, but yeah, I feel like I'm dirty as a rebellion. From my family's very repressive. We never talk about sex or anything.
Yeah.
And my mom always hates when I do dirty language. So now every show I have like a really dirty joke about her.
Yeah.
And she keeps on complaining, and then the jokes just get dirtier and dirtier, you know?
Good God. Yeah. Yeah, and then I fucked my mother from behind.
I have that.
Thinking about Meg Ryan.
No, I do a joke now. It's my opener. It's like I say, sometimes I do jokes about my girlfriend that she finds too personal. So we have like a couple of therapists.
I've heard that joke, yes.
Yeah. So I'll go over it. But there is a line I was going down on my mom the other night.
Oh, my God. Offensive.
I know. But anyway, so we both have a similar, like, fighting off
Yeah.
a repressive family. But interestingly, this movie is not, it's your favorite movie, but it's part of your...
Yeah, I think it's the reason I moved to New York.
Really?
It's a movie about New York.
It is a very romantic
It's a
New York
very
movie.
romantic Upper West Side,
Yeah.
beautiful. The seasons, every season is shown. But
But let's
love
explain what romantic New York movie means. It means wealthy.
It means wealthy.
It means wealthy.
It means, although Meg Ryan's character not wealthy.
Not wealthy, but she still lives in a beautiful,
Yeah.
looks like a brownstone.
It's
like
a studio.
A studio, but it's
Yeah.
quite, on the outside,
Oh
quite
yeah, it's
gorgeous.
wonderful. It would go for $4,000.
I mean, that is,
today.
whenever we say romantic New York, we're like the upper way, wealthy.
Yeah.
But no one's like Harlem in the 70s. Romantic New York.
Well, some people might, I'm sure.
Romantic just means wealthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like so sweet. You see all the snow. One scene, the snow comes down. Fall in New York,
do
the
see the-
spring,
yeah.
Riverside Park. I mean, it's so pretty.
Yeah, no, it is it is a pretty like New York cute movie, and it's a movie that like is very like, it feels like a movie. It's so dated, and it's like naivete compared to now that you're like, this was a very innocent time, but also it's kind of about the destruction of Western civilization.
Yeah, it is.
They talk about the internet and how it's going to destroy shit.
Yeah.
It's clearly dated because like the enemy in that is just like a Barnes and Noble type.
Yeah.
They haven't even got
Which
into
is
Amazon.
now
Yeah.
out of
Mom
business.
and pop. Yeah. That's the new
Yeah.
mom and pop.
I was like, well, I mean, Tom Hanks' character is gonna feel the burn like 20 years
Yeah, I
later.
know,
when that
exactly.
goes out.
They should make another movie where he's the Meg Ryan character.
Yeah.
And it's Jeff Bezos. And they have
Yeah.
like a romantic thing going on.
I would love to see it. I was watching it last night and I was like, man, it'd be great if they made another one, but they just lived happily ever after. There was no conflict.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was just
Well, it's,
happy.
It is interesting because it's like, well, first of all, the ultimate romantic, innocent thing about this movie that is so... the movie is a very cute movie, but when you look at it in context of this ruinous landscape we're all a part of now, there's quite a bit of sadness. I think one of the sadness in it, I know the movie's very cute. I'm going to make it dark just from the...
Good.
The sad lie of that movie, the sad dream of that movie, ultimately, is the idea that people are their better self on the internet.
Yeah. That's so true.
The idea that
Oh my God.
like he's an asshole, but on internet, anonymously,
Yeah.
he's a sensitive guy.
When he's face to face, he has no empathy.
Yeah, but
when he's on the computer,
That's
he's like,
where the
"Oh."
super ego comes
Yeah.
out. That's where values. I mean, that idea is just like the two most dated things are AOL having.
Yeah.
AOL is just like a.
You've got mail.
Yeah, that and because that got replaced by Gmail. AOL and the fact that you're your better self online.
Good God. And the fact that the Big Bag bookstore is a thing.
Yeah, that Barnes and Nobles is the evil one.
Yeah.
I like. We'll go. We like to go through the whole movie in this,
Sure.
and I will say I like. There are elements of this movie I love, and there's elements of this movie I do not like. Mm-hmm. I've always struggled with romantic comedies in general, just because I feel like the comedy part gets hurt a lot, in the romantic comedy. And if the comedy part is really strong, it typically pushes the romantic word out of it.
Yeah.
So romantic comedy kind of is like, there's typically a cap on how funny it can be.
Yeah. But this one, I would say, like, there's always a banger, you know?
I was a little disappointed. There's a couple of very funny. It's very cute. I mean, it's very cute the whole time, and the story flows really nicely. I do think it's. I mean, you watch as a kid. I guess it's different too, because like
a 10-year-old Caitlin watching, or 12 or 4.
Because it is different now. Because I showed Billy Madison to my girlfriend, and she had never seen it. When you should show Billy Madison to someone who didn't grow up with it, they're like, she's just like, is the premise just that he's like retarded?
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, yeah, but it's brilliant.
I feel the same way about Tommy Boy. Whenever I show Tommy Boy to anyone, they're like, this is just him being loud.
Yeah. It's like, well, you had to be there.
This is fat shaming. I'm like, yeah, but it's like fun.
And Adam Sandler's just like mentally handicapped. And you're like, but it's funny because like you just have to be there. Yeah. So it is tough with kid movies, like, or not kid movies watching as a kid.
Yeah.
I'd say as an adult watching it for the first time, I will say my main negative thing is it really is not that funny. And maybe that's not a negative thing. Maybe that is just a genre. But
yeah, but I mean, like, it's funny, but it's also very, very heartfelt. Like when
it is heartfelt.
When she's sad, you feel the heaviness.
It is more the heartfelt stuff you feel more.
Yeah.
And there is a beautiful scene that I want to talk about. Probably there's a scene in the movie that is like almost transcends the cuteness of the movie. It like caught me by surprise. A scene where they close the store and she's in there and she looks back and sees her vision of her mother dancing with her. That part is just so incredible. So I do think the heartfeltness sometimes of her is impactful. As terms of comedy, yeah, I mean, like, I laughed once out loud.
Which part? Which part did you laugh at?
I mean, the part. Let me say, I really like Nora Ephron, but like. When Harry Met Sally is hilarious.
Yeah.
So it's like, there is a big dip between When Harry Met Sally and this comedically. Like, When Harry Met Sally is really funny, and this is cute. My big issue, I think, comically wise, is that I don't think Tom Hanks is that funny ever.
Oh, but he's his cutesy little.
Exactly. He's too sweet.
It's like big.
It's big. It's too sweet. And he doesn't have much of a scumbag really in him. So whenever he's a scumbag, it does feel a little like acting. Or like, no, he's not a scumbag. And sometimes I think for something to be really funny, you have to feel the scumbag. Like Billy Crystal and Harry Met Sally. There's a lack of charm with him that makes it funny. Or Jack Nicholson, As Good as It Gets. The scumbagness of it. These are movies, by the way.
I was going to say, I think I've seen As Good as It Gets.
The scumbagness of it. Tom Hanks to me there's just a sweetness to him that like hurts the comedy, brings up the likability factor.
Yeah.
But likability and funny are kind of mutually like I'm not likable, but I'm very funny. You know what I mean? Like it's like
and the inverse for me.
But so no, I'm just saying like it does hurt it a little comedically. The part I laughed at was Greg Kinnear, who is my favorite character in the movie. When they're talking during the movie and someone's like, shh, and it's like, it's a hot dog singing because there's like a preview.
Yeah.
That
part's need quiet while a hot dog is singing?
That part made me die laughing. And there's a part at the end with Dabney Coleman with him and Tom Hanks. I can't. Not talking to a movie buff. Okay, the father.
The father? Oh, is it the nanny
You're going to
scene?
get so attacked in the comments. You're like, who is this non-movie person?
I just did Doug Loves Movies for the third time, and I was like, why am I here? I don't understand. I literally recommended Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, well, that's probably up his speed, you know?
No, he said everybody keeps recommending old garbage.
I did the 12, what do you call it? The 12 days of Christmas, or the thing he does live at Gramercy. It's like an elimination round. It was 12 comics.
Oh, wow.
It was Taylor Tomlinson on there, and she was like, I do not want to be here, and she took a fall. She pretended she didn't know something to leave.
I get that completely.
Yeah,
because I was up there and I was with Joe DeRosa and then two comics I don't know, but
what were their names?
Okay. If I didn't know the name of the dad, I'm not going to remember. All right. Someone I met for 45 minutes.
I like how
they
if
were
you
very
don't know
lovely.
them, you don't retain any information.
Retain any information. They were nice people, and I'll remember their face forever, but their names I'll never. But it was literally just movie buff, and I was like, one of the questions was, what is a movie with the word South in it? And I was like, South Park the movie.
Yeah, like, you can say that. That's a good option.
Well, he wanted bigger, longer, uncut.
Oh, he wanted. Yeah, they like
he
the
wanted.
tagline.
He likes
Yeah,
the
yeah,
exact.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I failed miserably. I managed to win one game, which is astonishing.
How the South was won. I'm trying to think. No, that's how the West was won. What is another South movie?
The
South.
racist one.
Oh, wait.
Song of the South.
Song of the South.
Yeah,
Songs,
that one.
Songs of the
Joe
South.
DeRosa thought of that
The
one.
Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of South.
Well, we don't have to talk about it. They can listen to the
Bad
other
on my
podcast.
list. So, yeah, but the scene was damn. The father and Tom Hanks at the end is really funny.
Yeah.
When they're on the boat.
And the nanny.
And
yeah.
Well, first of all, he goes. I mean, we'll do it in order, but we'll just go through this scene. First of all, he goes. He's like, yeah, I fucked her. Oh, she was your nanny. And then he's like, oh, I fucked her. Oh, she was your nanny too. That's ironic. And I'm like, that's not ironic. You're just fucking nannies. Like, that's not like, you can't just do a compulsion and be like, that's ironic.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and who did you say you broke up with again? Which is really funny. Because they like live together.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go through the beginning of the movie. We'll break it down.
But the joke at the end was like, where did your wife run off to? And he goes, she left me for the nanny.
Oh, right.
But
that part is ironic.
Yeah, that was.
But
the
him
ironic
just
part.
fucking nannies compulsively, he says is ironic. And
Well,
that's
he
not
said it's ironic because he knows that his wife left him for the nanny.
Oh, because I didn't see that. I saw him say that's ironic, and then later they go,
Yeah, because Tom Hanks' faces go ironic, and then later it is she left before the nanny.
Oh, I really misunderstood.
No.
Well, part of me thought he just thought that part
It's
was
a complicated movie.
Part of me thought he just thought that part was ironic, and then when Tom Hanks goes, she left you for nanny, Tom Hanks goes, that's ironic. Well, why is he saying to Tom Hanks it's ironic when he's not explaining? Because Tom Hanks doesn't know that till the very end.
It's just well written.
That's
it's
not well
literally
written.
going along. It keeps you engaged. It's
All
fun.
right, take it back. It's not my favorite scene. So the movie starts. Take us through the movie. How does it begin?
It begins with them both cheating on their
Yes.
spouses.
Now this is an interesting thing. So this movie is before emotional cheating was like a term. Mm-hmm. So you can begin a comedy with the fun little music, even though they're both emotionally cheating on people they live with.
Yeah,
and it's just fun. It's just like She leaves for work and it gets on the computer, and she leaves for work. He gets on the computer, and they're doing it like it's Home Alone or something. But like that's just cheating.
Well, it's also I feel like they feel shame about it because at the time it was like online.
But but they're more ashamed by the online than they are communicating. Mm-hmm. This movie does not have a lot of does not think of people living together as that big of a commitment.
Yeah. Well, I love in the beginning the store clerk.
Yeah, Steve Zahn.
No, the girl.
Stapleton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, she says, Meg Ryan's in a good mood, and she's like, "Oh, you're in love." And she goes, "No." And she goes, "Yes, I am in. I love it."
It's very bizarre. It's very cutesy. It's like weird. It's because even though the term emotional cheating wasn't back then. I mean, wouldn't both partners be heartbroken that you're having this long communication with a stranger?
Well, I mean, later in the movie, we discover that they're both on the same page of not being in love with each other.
That might be the biggest lie in the whole movie, that two people living together can have that clean of a break.
Yeah.
Like they're just at a restaurant, just like, I guess we're not into each other.
Yeah.
They live together.
I mean, well, it was like she says, I'm practically living with.
Oh, so they're not fully living together?
They're not fully living together.
Oh.
And then Patricia and Tom were fully living together.
But they seem to not really care about it.
I love the line where Tom Hanks says, Patricia, she's great. Patricia makes coffee nervous.
So, right.
Right.
So they're there. So that's how it begins, the emotional cheating. Mm-hmm. That's very fun.
Yeah.
And then you see her go to her job at this, little bookstore. Mm-hmm. And what happens next? Let's go through
They go to the bookstore, and it's just like this cute little, she's enchanting.
She's enchanting.
Enchanting. Very Meg Ryan role. Literally
the
born for
Meg
this
Ryan,
role.
Yeah. And she is very cute. She is very childlike and cute.
I didn't realize she's 30.
In that movie?
In
That's
that movie.
crazy. She actually looks older.
She looks older. She looks like she's...
Yeah, she doesn't look that great.
Well, neither does Tom. They both look immensely older.
I know, they
30.
really do. She has bags under her eyes.
Yeah, she was tired. She was tired later. She's worked hard.
She's
a small business owner.
Yeah, that's true.
She's exhausted.
She is that was her time. She was very cute and childlike. I mean, I still watch her. I want to fuck her. You know what I mean? It doesn't stop me. But it's I want to fuck someone cute and
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I mean, she's so like quirky and.
But there
like,
is nothing like sexual. Like she never wears anything even remotely.
No, nothing. No cleavage. Everything's up to here.
Pants. Like it's a little like I think it all. I mean, I think all these movies kind of stem a little. There's a movie called Annie Hall. And I think a lot of this stems a little from like Diane Keaton and Annie Hall. That's almost like cute, non-sexual.
Yeah.
Because like she never wears like is this true for all her other movies? Like is she ever in like a miniskirt?
There was when she's in her 40s, almost 50s. She does a movie.
In the Cut.
Is it called In the Cut?
The serial killer movie?
No. It's like The Other Woman or something.
Oh yeah.
And it's her and Eva Mendes.
Oh okay.
And she sexes it up for that because she's trying to keep up with Eva Mendes, who is having an affair with her husband.
Oh yeah. Well, she sexes it up. There's a movie In the Cut where she like is like there's sexual scenes. She plays not a prostitute.
I was like, that is wild.
No, she does
Meg
play.
Ryan was playing.
She does in Hurly Burly. She's a prostitute.
Really?
I believe so. She's either a prostitute or an.
Well, it's a far cry from You've Got Mail, I'll tell you that. You've Got Mail, she's like a secondary mother to all these children.
I know, and she just, long dress, reading children's books.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a store, it's just a children's book store, right?
Yeah, that's it. It's only children's book. They do story time. It's weird that they have regulars. Like it's like you're just like watching.
Yeah, who are these like pedophiles coming in? I barely see any kids in the store.
I mean, no, there's kids in the store.
There's
the storybook
time.
lady, they call her storybook lady.
Yeah.
But I think like she's owning. There's a line in it where she goes, "I lead a small life, and I don't know if it's because." It's what I want, or if I haven't been brave. And it's like that because I always remember like thinking he put you out of business. This was your dream.
Right.
You would hate him forever. But then it's like, oh, this wasn't your dream. This was your mom's dream. Now you have to go figure something else out.
Well, it's also, it's kind of an interesting part of the movie that no one's really too upset by what happens in their life. Like, she's just kind of like, there's a huge safety net in this movie. And she's just like, oh, don't ruin my store, don't make, and there's some sadness that kind of comes out, but like no one's really caring that much about their life.
I mean, and the fact that they went out of business within 3 months is crazy.
It's also insane. I also feel like if any store could survive would be like a niche children's bookstore, because it's like I get it if it's just a general bookstore, but I feel like a children's bookstore could possibly, survive.
I mean, nowadays.
Yeah.
But back then, it was like...
It does close so quickly. Do they have no reserve cash? Are they just like living, savings?
But then she says, oh, I have some savings. It's okay. And it's just like, well, pay your employees. Fire one of the 3 employees for the world's smallest store. Yeah,
I don't think they need they don't need that woman, that guy, and that old lady.
It's crazy.
What does the old lady do?
She's the bookkeeper.
Okay. Why can't Meg Ryan be the bookkeeper? What does Meg Ryan do? Does she just do story time?
I mean, literally, I'm like, this is so poorly run.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think Tom Hanks is the reason to close down. It's because they don't need that many employees.
No.
Bookkeeper should be the owner.
Yes. Correct. She could learn a new skill. But that's why I think she was quick to close, because it wasn't her dream.
Yeah. Which really takes the consequences away from this movie completely. Yeah. This movie's so light in that sense that but that's who Meg Ryan is. She's not like, it's kind of her perfect character because she doesn't really get, she gets sad, and there's that part where she's heartbroken with the store. But like you said, she doesn't put up that big of a fight.
No, she's sad because it was her mom.
Yeah, she's sad that times are changing, but she's not fighting to keep them the way they are.
No. She could have done if she could have sold some shit.
Which I guess is needed for her to look past everything Tom Hanks does. Because he is pretty unforgivable in a normal situation. So like in a normal situation, someone destroying your dream, you're not gonna which is another
let him into your house.
Yeah. Which another thing is just how horrible he is in this movie. Yeah. My favorite part. Oh, we'll go through it, but I keep on saying that. But all right, let's keep going. So what's the next part?
So the next part, they both talk to their Dave Chappelle and Tom
Who
Hanks.
Is just so.
Yeah.
There's nothing character. They're just like, we got nothing here. Just give it to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah. We need you only for the scene where you look through the window and discover it's Meg Ryan.
I could just see him being like, I got to do this white shit movie. Like, I could just see him like,
don't do the voice, Raanan.
I could just see him like, he just, it's like, it's just like he has no, what does he do at the store? Is he a general manager?
Yeah, he's like the assistant he's like the underling.
They don't
It's
even make him feel connected to the store. They're never like he's never.
No, he does. He tells gives the rundown of everything that happens
Right.
at the store, and then he's like, "This is a well-oiled machine, my friend." You know.
I know he doesn't seem like someone who really cares about being a manager at a bookstore.
No. I think it's just a job. Yeah.
But he's just, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just, they don't have chemistry. It's just weird. It's like, it's just weird to see him have to like pretend to care about this white people shit the whole time. Like these, like, it's just like it's just so sad. It's just kind of embarrassing that they put him in this movie.
I mean, I loved it when I saw it was him, but I'm so nostalgic. For it. I saw him. I was like, oh my God, that's Dave Chappelle. Like when I was younger, I didn't
I guess
know.
it worked back in the day. He's such a force, or became such a comedic, like brilliant force. I forget that there was a time where he was just like the random black friend in a movie.
Yeah, he wasn't. I don't even think he was well known.
He couldn't have
that
been.
movie.
Yeah,
1998? No way.
No, yeah, he was just like he was just like the black friend. He was like the fat friend, the black friend.
Well, okay, so in the movie, they discover that they like each other. We get to know that they have significant others, all that stuff. We get to know them.
Yeah.
And then I would say the big change is when Tom Hanks takes his niece and his nephew out on like a day date. And they end up going to her store, and that's how
not his niece and nephew, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's their nephew.
He's their nephew. He's his aunt and his brother.
I like how we're supposed to believe Tom Hanks is from this like fucked up incestuous Rupert Murdoch family, but deep down he's a good person.
Yeah. Well, it's probably not his dream either.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what's funny about this movie. No one really cares about anything in it. No one cares about their partners. Yeah. No one cares about their jobs. It's like I guess that's the charm. There's no passion except for like I guess love. But like it is funny. Like even that girl who's like I can't. One of the most inconsequential like quotes is when the girl who works there goes, "What if we close? I'm never going to be able to find another part-time job." She said another part-time job, and then she goes, "I'll have to move back to Brooklyn."
Yeah,
and it's like, God, this movie is for white people. God, this movie is for white people.
I mean,
this is a movie for Starbucks people.
It's just,
like
it is literally a Karen of a movie. It's like just this, white flight. Little
yeah, it's like people who just have safety nets, like that kind of privileged safety net. Everyone in this movie has a safety net from everything.
Yeah,
she is like if they did this realistically, like her store would close down and then she would like go broke and she'd end up having to be a prostitute. Like that's what how.
Selling feet pics online on AOL.
Yeah, she'd have to be an OnlyFans. She'd start with just reading children's books, and then it'd be reading children's books topless.
Yeah,
and then it'd be like getting fucked in the ass while reading the children's books.
Jesus Christ, Raanan! Stop telling me what you want to see.
So they meet. At first, I keep on thinking they're gonna realize who it is because it seems like they like.
It seems so obvious when you watch it again. But
Well, at one point he goes like, "You're enchanting." Or like your mother was enchanting, and she's like, "How do you know that?" And I'm like,
"Oh, the picture." Yeah,
I'm like, it just seemed like a moment where he like was like quoting. Yeah, you keep on thinking they're gonna like reveal something from their online, but they never do.
No, they never do.
That was a surprise to the movie. The constant manipulation and gaslighting that Tom Hanks does for the entire movie. It's not because what happens is he eventually he closes down her store. It has one of my least favorite lines, a line that you probably have said before.
Tell me.
What is it with these men in The Godfather?
I mean, I believe it.
What
is it with the men in The Godfather?
What is it with these men in this American film classic about capitalism?
It's a boy with daddy issues. That's all it is.
There's no way women don't like The Godfather.
I'm sure a lot of women love The Godfather.
I reject this idea that women have bad taste, even though I kind of made it the premise.
What a feminist.
Even though I kind of made it the premise.
No, I tried watching. It's so long. It's drawn out. Ugh.
Yeah.
But I heard the second one's good, so I'll try and watch it.
You're never going to watch it. Anyway, you're going to get crucified in these comments.
I'm so sorry. Honestly, I don't care, nerds.
Yeah, fuck you all. I support her. I support this movie.
Yeah, a woman director, the only one.
This is how I'm
that
lower
time period.
Can you go on a movie podcast that's just followed by incels and talk about how you don't like a movie? I'll send you the comments.
I will not be looking at these comments. I'll tell you that. I have no desire. I don't even look at my own comments in my Instagram.
Well, all comments are mean. They're mean to every comment's like mean to me. Everyone's just mean. That's the thing. That's what's so funny about this movie. The nice side of the internet. It's just like that. Boy, did that go the other way.
Yeah, but that's what Nora Ephron does. She just makes a perfect little bubble.
Yeah, which is great. It's comforting.
It's a comfort movie. That's all.
I mean, it involves ignoring poverty in New York.
Yeah, there's not a single homeless person, not a single anything.
That started also with Woody Allen. I do think this does come from the Woody Allen romantic comedy genre. I mean, When Harry Met Sally was clearly like influenced by Woody Allen. And then this is all kind of influenced from When Harry Met Sally. And part of Woody Allen's romantic New York is never having homeless people in any of the shots.
Yeah. Well, they're not aesthetically pleasing.
They are not. They're not great for the shot.
Yeah.
It's hard to get like if that shot of in the movie Manhattan where they're like on the bench, it's black and white. It's like an iconic shot. If there's just like a homeless guy jacking off in the corner, it would not have been as iconic a shot. So you really have to remove those
there
people.
You go. There you go. How else are you going to be able to enjoy this grown man taking advantage of an 18-year-old girl?
She's actually, I think, younger. I think she's 17.
Jesus.
I think, seriously.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Do not give him the benefit of the doubt. Manhattan, in that movie, she's playing a 17-year-old, and I believe she was about to turn 17 in real life.
Oh, my God.
And he tried to pick her up and tried to get her to go with him to Europe, like behind the scenes. Like,
really? In real life?
Yeah. And the movie is about him learning, like, that he took for granted this like underage child he was dating. Like that's the whole end of the movie.
Jesus
he like
Christ.
runs back to try to get her, you know. But it's true. I mean, you know, I think a lot about the young girls I dated and like, man, I never knew what I had. You know?
My God. He's an ally. He's an ally.
But so right. So then there's the meeting, right? That's the next thing. The meeting where Dave Chappelle, who just doesn't like, once again, no one cares about anything of this, and Dave Chappelle certainly does not care.
No. You're jumping.
Oh, yeah. Well,
You're
I'm
jumping,
sorry. What
baby.
did I miss? Yeah, you lead the way.
Okay. So they meet, and she doesn't know he's Joe Fox. Okay.
Right.
From Fox Books.
Even though the kid...
F-O-X.
The hint is that
Yeah.
his kid's an idiot and can only spell Fox.
Yeah.
Even though he looks like he's 7.
I mean, everybody looks older than they are.
I know, but I'm like...
That kid is 3.
I like how that's the hint that's like, he can only spell F-O-X, but no other words.
Then they go to like a mutual friend's...
that party, the black tie party.
The black,
yes.
Yeah, and they go and she they talk. She's like, "Oh, do you remember me, Kathleen Kelly?" And then he's like, "Yes." And then someone else comes over. I can't believe you were talking to Joe Fox.
Right.
And so she confronts him.
Now, do you know that this is a remake? This movie.
Yes,
You
I
didn't
did,
know that.
but I haven't seen the original.
Shop Around the Corner. Yeah.
Is it Shop Around the Corner?
Isn't that what it's called? I believe that's what it's
it's
called.
called. Is it?
Is it not Shop Around the Corner?
Oh, my knee.
And then it's Jimmy Stewart, right?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Wait, hold on.
No, it's like Pen Pal something.
No. It's Shop Around the Corner.
Okay.
I think that's what it's called.
But they what's it called? But yeah,
That gets to my first line I thought was funny in the movie.
Which one?
Which does take a while to get. Like, the first line that I thought was like a really good joke was when, it's not amazing, but it was like pretty funny, is when like the Greg Kinnear goes over and is like, "How do you sleep at night?" And Parker Posey just overhears, and she's like, "Well, I like to take this over-the-counter medication." That part was really funny.
Yeah.
And Greg Kinnear is awesome in this.
Don't take the whole thing. Just, yeah.
Greg Kinnear is kind of like me.
He's great.
Like, it's like me like realizing my annoying side. Just this like, you know, very serious about the spiritual state of the world, but also like mixed with so much narcissism and just loving to hear himself talk.
Yeah. He's literally mouthing like along to someone else reading his own work. Like,
it is like it is.
It's like you reading the comments.
Yeah. It's a little like looking in the mirror. It's a great character. I think what's so sad about the world now is like a lot of the characters in that movie no longer exist in our climate. Mm-hmm. Like the Meg Ryan character who admits she doesn't vote, and that's supposed to be the like not annoying person. That character doesn't exist anymore. The only two people who exist in this dystopian nightmare now are Tom Hanks and Greg Kinnear. Yeah. Greg Kinnear has become the annoying woke blogger or Marxist. And then Tom Hanks is like every, you know, corporate, amoral sociopath.
Yeah, same with Patricia.
Right.
The Patricia character is like, "What? I can sell you something."
Yeah.
You know.
So I didn't get her character. I mean, Parker Posey is really funny. I wasn't like fully. I feel like they didn't flesh her out as well as they did Greg Kinnear.
Yeah, well, she wasn't as intricate to like Tom didn't need her.
Right.
She was just there,
Right.
Like Meg leaned on him to like write the article and all that stuff. And then the breakup scene,
It's tough because it's like, is it really valid criticism? Like, it is weird that Tom Hanks is in a relationship that he gives no shit about.
Yeah.
At all. And she doesn't really give a shit either.
Well, it's just like being with someone that you just like, it's better than being alone.
Right. But in real life, the level of emptiness you'd feel being with someone you don't like at all is pretty tough.
Yeah.
As you know. And I'm just joking. I'm just joking. And I can't cut that out because I'm not good at editing.
Okay. Well, I do not agree with the statement.
But so like the emptiness of being with someone you don't like is tough. That's really tough. It doesn't seem to bother Tom Hanks at all that he's with someone. I mean, he's clearly...
Yeah, but he's like a sociopath. Like he's like a businessman who...
Except he's not. He's supposed to have a soul.
A sociopath with a heart of gold. Yeah.
I think that's not a sociopath.
Yeah. But he even says when they finally decide to meet as pen pals, when the pen pals versions of themselves decide to meet, he's having Dave Chappelle look into the cafe and he goes, if she is even remotely attractive, I will upend my whole life for this woman.
Yeah, he's pretty desperate.
It's like, and it's like, you live with a woman. You are with Patricia.
I mean, I guess that's the charm of the movie, that like it's not really logical. Like none of these people are really enjoying, like there's no weight to anything.
No.
So like the idea,
and you're rooting for them to meet and cheat on their spouses.
If you take a romantic comedy and put it in like real life, it's just all sociopaths.
Yeah.
Because she is too. I mean, they're both emotionally cheating. They don't care about their but no one cares about anything.
No.
But so Chappelle goes in. He's like, she's hot. And then he goes in, and this is where the real gaslighting begins.
Well, he says, if you think Kathleen Kelly's pretty, you're going to love this woman.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it is Kathleen Kelly.
Yeah,
and then
another
he
joke
decides...
that's not that funny, but yeah.
Well, and then he decides that he's going to leave. And so he leaves.
So that's the first part that you're like, oh, he's really cold. Let's say what that means. Because I know we live in a world in this movie without consequence, but let's just, for a second, just think about that. They've been pen pals with a real emotional connection. He finds out it's this woman who he is going to take her out of business. So he really shouldn't have any anger at her anyway. Just that she's mad that he's going to run her out of business.
Yeah, it's going to ruin her mother's store.
But now he knows she's alone waiting for this guy. And he's just going to leave and make her wait. Yeah. That's a sociopath.
Yeah, that's a sociopath. But he's not a sociopath because he ends up coming back.
Yes, but then he is a sociopath because he doesn't tell her.
Yeah, and then he just starts, and that's when he starts gaslighting her.
I was actually kind of amazed by that. I thought the movie was going to like reveal the truth.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like this awkward thing. I didn't know that most of the movie is gaslighting.
Yeah.
Because he sits down.
That's halfway through the movie.
Yeah, that's halfway through the movie, and he makes a choice. I'm not going to tell her this thing I know, which gives him leverage. And then he's just fucking with her at the table.
You're waiting for someone. Oh, is this a flower?
It's like, so cruel.
It's so mean.
But I guess what works is that Meg Ryan's so childlike and sweet. She doesn't even really care about being sad. Like she doesn't she's just like, oh, I'm heartbroken. It's like so light.
Yeah, you don't see her cry.
No, she's not like she's not.
Oh man.
You know what it is? She's not humiliated.
No,
like she doesn't have a sense of humiliation. Which makes it work, I guess.
The only part where she was like, what if he looked in the window, saw it was me, and left? Thought I was so ugly.
And then someone's like, that's never going to... That girl's like...
And then that girl's like...
She's basically like, you're Meg Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we know that's not it.
Yeah. Even though she does look a little old in this.
I mean, they should have just made her 35.
Yeah.
But
it's a bad 30.
It's a tough 30. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But
you look way better at 30.
I'm 25. But yeah, so it's like then he just starts to be really mean. He starts to fuck with her a little bit.
I know you love this movie, but like, does that bother you at all? The fact that he's just kind of gaslighting her?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But it's so playful. That it's just kind of like, maybe that's why I put up with so much shit from dudes.
Well, I really do think there's this irony where like a lot of girls love these romantic movies, and those romantic notions get them in relationships with sociopaths, but then the people in the romantic comedies are also sociopaths. Yeah. So it's actually more conditioning you than you even think. It's not just conditioning women to like buy into romantic notions, but actually, like, those are gaslighters.
Yeah, it's like it's just prepping you for bad behavior.
Yeah, I mean,
like, well, this is the good guy, and this is
the
good
good
best
guy.
we can
And
do.
literally at the end, when he's still gaslighting her,
Yeah,
he's destroyed her life. She's about to say something. He puts his hand over her mouth and goes, "Don't say something you're going to regret for the rest of your life." I'm
mean,
like, what the fuck?
I know. She's sick. He like barged himself into her home.
And he's still manipulating her.
Yes.
This whole second half is a cat like dangling a mouse in its paw and fucking with it.
He's like literally seeing if he can dig himself out of a hole.
I was like really shocked. Like I was like, there's no honesty in this movie.
Yeah, well, except for Meg Ryan just being completely honest the whole
Yeah,
time.
and then just completely forgiving. I mean, I guess that's her character is like, no matter how horrible, I guess she's like Jesus. Like, no matter how horrible you are to her, she just worries about you.
Yeah.
She's like, I shouldn't have said those things to him, even though he destroyed my life.
Even though he made me the saddest I've ever been. And
But also, like, is she not? I mean, I guess this is the romantic New York where economics don't matter. But
Yeah.
even if it's not her dream, isn't she worried that her whole financial...
well, they mention it a few times where she's like, I have some savings.
Raanan is fat and he's a Jew. He'll tell you something that you already knew. Your favorite movie sucks. Your favorite movie sucks. American Beauty or Forrest Gump. Your favorite movie sucks.